Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our launch webinar for our 2025-2026 Security Training Scholarship. My name is Mary Jane Suarez-Partain. I'm the Program Director for WiCyS, and joining me today is Max Shufton, Kathleen Gibson, and Stephanie Lima. We are all going to be talking to you about this new program or this established program and how you can become new applicants. We're just going to give a brief overview of WiCyS, talk about the program. I'm going to introduce both the technical mentors so they can talk to you about what their relationship is going to look like with you. And then we'll have a question and answer session. Excuse me, I've got a little bit of frog in my throat. Again, my name is Mary Jane and I am with WiCyS, and we are a 501c3 nonprofit. We've been around for quite some time. We're now going into our 11th year as an organization, and we've been a nonprofit for about 7 years. And our goal is to recruit, retain, and advance women in cybersecurity. As part of our organization, we are a member-based organization. We have 11,000 members in over 100 countries all around the world. And we look for ways to help you recruit, retain, and grow within cyber. In order to do that, we do that through a multi-pronged approach. We look at programs at all levels, so early, mid, and senior level programs. We look at ways to integrate through media, through speaking engagements, our speakers bureau. We host events, our most famous of those events being our annual conference. And I can't say enough about the annual conference. We've been having it since 2014. If you have an opportunity to go, I would definitely encourage you to do that. It is our premier live event. We'll have 2,400 people there to gather together in DC this year to grow and enrich and come together as a community. Our career resources, and again, we have a plethora of those also, both offered at the conference and then also as an everyday effort through WiCyS. And our whole goal, because we see this as the way to really get women to grow within cybersecurity, is to create a sense of community. We have a board of directors that graciously leads us through our charge, making sure that we're meeting the mission and goals of our organization. And we try to grow youth too through mentorship with our mission support team, through our online member platform, and through our student chapters, and any other way that we can conduct outreach and kind of bring you into the organization. Now, I did talk earlier about the different levels of support that we offer, and we like to make sure, because sometimes there's a little bit of folks that may be mid-level thinking, what is there here for me? Because they hear a lot about our entry-level programs. We have a little bit for absolutely everyone, and that's what I really love about our multi-prong approach when it comes to career education. For our early career folks, we have everything from Capture the Flag. The Security Training Scholarship is an early career and career changer focused program. Mid-career, we've had some really exciting opportunities this year, including the AI Learning Series, which was extremely well attended. SANS was our partner on that effort also, helping to lead the AIS 247 coursework, and then also our Stage Ready program, which is also new for this year, with the idea that we really want to help you be able to speak on whatever stage you're in, if that's the boardroom, or if it's in a meeting, or if it's on an actual stage. Like, how do you go out there and tell your story? And for senior career folks, we've got a lot of great opportunities too. A new effort that we have this year is the Senior Leaders Network. And that is an invite-only opportunity to kind of come together, build a community, and kind of trade ideas and brainstorm in a safe environment. And we couldn't do any of this without our strategic partners. Those are the folks that fund us year-round so that we can provide all of these educational opportunities for you. Our Tier 1 support includes 3M, Akamai, Amazon, Bloomberg, Cisco, Ford, Google, Lockheed, Optum, SANS, Sandia National Laboratories, and SentinelOne. And without their support, we wouldn't be able to provide these programs. And in the last year alone, we provided over 123 programs to over 50,000 participations. So I'm very, very excited and proud of the efforts that we provide. And if you're not currently a member, in order to be a part of this program, you need to seek out a membership. Please go on our website. If you're interested in learning more about us, I would also encourage you to subscribe to the newsletter. You have an opportunity at the end of this webinar to kind of throw out any questions that you have. I like to make sure that folks are aware of that. Feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll make sure that we get to those as we're completing the webinar. And if there's anything that we don't get to, we'll make sure that we include that at the end in an email. Now, I want to go ahead and turn over this presentation to Max. He is our great friend and partner over at SANS, and he will kind of be walking you through what participation in the program will look like. Max?
Thanks, MJ. Appreciate it, and appreciate everybody joining today, or if you're watching the recording, hope you're enjoying it so far. So yeah, as MJ said, we've been proud to partner with WiCyS for over a decade now, but on this program in particular for 5+ years. This program was really born during the worst of the pandemic, at a time when some of SANS leadership and WiCyS leadership were talking about ways to provide opportunity that ensured different career changers and students could gain the skills they needed to launch careers in cybersecurity when all the in-person events were being canceled around the globe. And that bore out the WiCyS Security Training Scholarship, initially with SANS, Google, and WiCyS coming together to build it, and taking some different models from a variety of programs that actually existed and kind of combining them into one. And the idea was to ensure that anyone who signed up could walk away with the opportunity to learn something tangible, a new skill set, how to use a tool, interact with peers, gain some additions to their network. And so this idea of doing a kickoff, kind of capture the flag, gamified learning stage came in as the part one of the program, which will run for several days in mid-September this year, and then be followed by, for some of the top performers, continuous learning and continued gamification, which I'll talk about in just a moment. And then looking at, as we want to incentivize kind of participation, learning, and success in those early stages, using a variety of aptitude testing and then different technical training and industry certification for some of the top participants throughout the program to advance, gain more skills, gain job-focused skills, and eventually move into jobs. For those kind of making it to the final stage of the program, we'll talk about the academy, but still ensuring that everyone who participated at stage one, even if they don't make it to stage 2 or 3 this year, they walk away with something and might come back and pursue it again in the future via WiCyS or via another program or a local community college or whatever it may be. And that's really at the crux of this. If Lynn were here, she'd say it's all about grit, aptitude, determination, and perseverance. And those kind of traits are what we're looking to measure in these early stages to then move into that more advanced technical training that regular cybersecurity professionals take every day to better be able to perform their jobs. So as I mentioned, stage 1 is what we call the boot up, capture the flag. This is an interactive, kind of beginner-friendly capture the flag scenario-based set of challenges. It'll include challenges in things like basic networking, cryptography, a lot of puzzle solving, really meant to be a gateway into kind of your cybersecurity learning journey, which could continue in this program, or if you don't go to the next stage, could be in other programs. Build those kind of foundational skills, interact with all your peers in Slack, get to build some new relationships, learn about other additional learning resources. And for some of the top performers, you'll have the opportunity to move to the next stage and build on those foundational skills further. And that is stage 2. We will use the Try Hack Me tool, similar to as we did last year. So Try Hack Me is an online cybersecurity learning platform. It offers interactive, gamified kind of training modules. As a student progresses through these modules, they'll start out at similar introductory kind of concepts, learning about networks, learning about Linux, different operating systems, learning about exploits. It does get more progressively challenging as you work your way through the modules. We work with TryHackMe to have dedicated learning paths as you go through the platform. And we do track both WiCyS and SANS and the program partners, kind of how different students are performing as they go through this stage. And you'll participate in that for approximately a month, solving different challenges in TryHackMe, still connecting with each other in Slack, connecting with some of your community mentors, we'll talk about later, and building on those foundational skills you started out developing in the CTF. So as we wrap up that stage, everyone will also be invited to take the CyberGen IQ tool. This is kind of both for the program purposes as well as a self-facing tool as well. CyberGen IQ is held by Haystack Solutions. It's a really innovative kind of cognitive assessment focused on discovering where your mindset aligns to in the cybersecurity industry. Whether you have an offensive mindset, a defensive mindset, an investigatory one, more a developer or cloud-focused one. It was built in partnership with various government entities, and Haystack has kind of validated its findings in terms of correlating and predicting kind of success in those specific domains based on how you perform in this assessment. And so this is helpful for the program team to understand kind of what career path might make sense for you, but also can be a great tool whether you move on in this program or go into other educational and training opportunities where you might now have some insights that you want to focus on defensive learning and blue team operations, or on the flip side, you're actually much more of an attacker and you want to learn about red teaming and offensive operations. Now, at the end of stage 2, the WiCyS and SANS and program teams will do review of all the data we have to date, application data, performance on the CTF, performance on TryHackMe, to make some hard selections. As anyone who's been in this program in the past will tell you, it is both a learning opportunity, but it's also a competition. And there will be a set number of slots for what we call kind of the academy, which is the Cyber Foundations and Advanced Training that follows, to go on and take up to 3 SANS training courses, as well as some online learning and AI as well, and achieve up to 3 industry certifications. And the first training on that path is the Security 275 Foundations course, which is essential in terms of helping you start a cybersecurity career. You kind of deepen that knowledge and do technical hands-on practice in many of the areas you've touched on in the gamification: networking, operating systems, security principles, basic scripting, learning more about forensics and offensive operations, learning about computer hardware and VPNs and such. It helps prepare you for more advanced training and kind of serves as that bridge from online kind of self-paced gamified learning into technical training and preparation for an industry certification, which will serve as the capstone of this course. Everyone will take the GFACT certification that they can achieve and then move on to the next stage. And that is where students will take up to 2 additional SANS training courses who achieve the GFACT in the program. The cohort will move on first to SANS Security 401, which is the Security Essentials, I think, Network, Endpoint, and Cloud course. This is really a security analyst training course. There are thousands of professionals in the field, from government, from military, and the private sector, state and local governments, academia, nonprofit, who take this training every year to be able to better perform their job with performing defensive skills, understanding the critical security controls, carrying out incident response and risk management tasks, to protect their organization's environment. And so that training will prepare you for that type of security analyst, kind of tier 1 entry-level role. You pursue the GSEC certification as part of it. At the end of, for those that achieve GSEC, they'll move on to take the SANS Security 504 Incident Handling, Hacker Tools, and Exploits training course, which is a kind of a more advanced training than 401 or 275 was. It will build on what you've learned so far, teaching about kind of incident and threat detection, incident response, understanding attacker tactics and tools to help the defensive side of security teams think like adversaries. And so as you kind of go through that full process, you're gaining the foundations, cyber defense, and network and enterprise defense skills, and then building on that with incident handling and learning to think like an attacker, to generate and help everyone graduate with the hands-on skills to fill security analyst roles, incident handler roles, those types of positions that are much in need in the field. At the end of 504, students will take the GCIH or GIAC Certified Incident Handler certification to kind of serve as the capstone of the program. In addition, as I mentioned, with the continued growth of the use of Gen AI tools in cybersecurity and just in the workforce in general, last year and again this year, we have included the AIS 247 training, which is a fairly high-level training on AI tools, but how they impact cybersecurity, how they can be deployed at your organization effectively to lower risk. It's not going to go teach you to build, your own LLMs on your own, but it's very much understanding how to deploy AI tools from a security standpoint. And so, the other thing I wanted to mention there is throughout the program, there are various teams that will support students, several technical mentors, kind of guiding students through each stage. When we get to the more advanced, the 275 and advanced training stages, there'll be some student advisors and career services teams in touch as well to help try to keep students on track with their studies, make sure they're remembering deadlines, especially around industry certification exams, using their practice tests. And then also the career services team helping with building and refining a resume, finding employment opportunities, navigating job boards, navigating applicant tracking systems, things of those nature to help ensure graduates move into the workforce and can contribute on day one. So, in terms of what makes this program unique, I actually said several of these words earlier. They're all stolen from Lynn, all credit to her. But, I think it is the ability to enable individuals that are coming from outside cybersecurity to not just get the same skills that professionals in the field have, but do it in a very, kind of rapid pace in under a year, and then get into the workforce and be a strong employee and advance in the workforce. It's been a pleasure to see alumni of this program, of which there are many hundreds now, not just get jobs, but advance in those jobs. We've seen, entry-level analysts and interns become engineers, become IAM program managers, become senior security engineers, and advance to lead teams on incident response teams as well. Seeing folks advance has been really a pleasure, and seeing people coming from such myriad backgrounds, non-technical, a little bit of technology, coming from backgrounds such as teaching, from the hospitality industry, and find their way into cybersecurity. It's amazing what WiCyS has accomplished over these 5 years, and we're looking forward to this year's program as well. So on that note, I'm not going to read these numbers. I'm actually going to pause and see if MJ wants to jump in with any thoughts. But the data, I think, is incredible what this program has achieved in the first several number of cycles, and we're excited for, as I said, for this year as well.
Yeah, the thing that I would like to add is that there was a slide probably at the very close to the very beginning that had the program laid out as a pyramid, letting you know that there's stages that you'll go through before you get to the next level, and that each stage builds on the previous one. The only one where that's not the case is CyberGen IQ. CyberGen IQ is offered as a benefit for those who get through the second stage. So how you do in CyberGen IQ does not determine your acceptance into Tier 4. That's a benefit for you getting at that stage for you to use, not only as you're trying to decide where you fit within cyber, but also to help the folks that are going to be providing services to you. It's an assessment instrument that's utilized to look at your strengths and where you might best fit within the cybersecurity industry. So we just like to make sure that that folks are aware of that. And then also, again, as Max has said, and you'll hear from me, and if you've heard anybody else talk about the Security Training Scholarship, what we're really looking for is to upskill and reskill folks very quickly into the field of cyber. There's over 5 million jobs in America alone for cybersecurity professionals, which means our critical infrastructure is not protected. So we need to get folks into the system as soon as possible with the skills that are needed in order to keep that, the critical structure safe. And this has been a proven way to do that. The thing that we do that I feel like is very different is that you will, as part of the application process, you will write an essay. And that essay and the outcome of that essay and how thoughtful you were in your responses, that impacts your ability to go to every single level, because we will look at not only how you did in the level, but also refer back to your essay. We really, really want to reward those that have shown proven examples of grit and determination to move them forward. And this, program is relevant to you so long as you're over 18 years old, you've never been a part of the program before. So this is only for new folks that are newly involved in the Security Training Scholarship. And you can be coming from any field. That's, you could have been a stay-at-home mom, you could have been IT and looking to transition over, or for, a completely different area. It's really, we're looking for within your essay evidence of your tenacity and your capacity to overcome and move forward, and what you really want to do and grow and hope to be within the field. And we always love to show the slides of the folks that have gone before, just so that you can see the impact of the program. And Max mentioned this also. A lot of these folks are in their second and third jobs, because we have been in business running this cohort for the last 5 years. As Max said, it was born out of the necessity of COVID and still wanting to be able to offer programs and ways for people to develop. This program came together and it's been so very successful in the outcomes. With, the big thing that we always repeat is that 92% of the folks that get to Tier 4, that get to be an advanced scholar, they get jobs when they're looking for them within a year of graduating from this program. That's really, I can't think of anything more positive to say than that if you invest in yourself, you show up for yourself, you make it through this program. If you want a job, you're going to get one. There's a 92% success rate. So we're extremely, extremely proud of that. So I want to take the time now to kind of turn it over to Stephanie and Kathleen. They have both been in the program. Stephanie was in 23, 24, and Kathleen was in 21, 22. And I believe Stephanie are you in the military affiliate or a veteran of, are you a vet?
Military spouse.
Okay, so you're part of the military focused programming that we do at WiCyS as a military spouse, definitely. So I want to invite them to kind of introduce themselves and talk a little bit about how they went through the program and then how they're going to be helping you as you go through the program.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Lima, and I'm truly honored to be here today. I'm a WiCyS member since 2020, I believe, as a military spouse, as I just said. And I was a recipient of the 2023-24 cohort, the scholarship. And now I'm stepping into the role of technical mentor for the next group. Just saying that it feels surreal sometimes, but this program truly changed my career and also transformed other aspects of my life that I want to share with you today. I think it started truly with the application. Um, like it was mentioned before, because I needed to write an essay and it was harder than expected, not because it's in English or the format, but it was like a moment that I really need to self reflect and ask deep questions that sometimes we don't even want to face. Like, what is my goal? What do I want for my career? What I'm doing and why I'm doing this. So, putting all these things into words forced me to stop and look at my life in a very honest way. And that process, it was the start of a major transformation that I didn't know at the time. And I was selected and I moved to the CTF. I had no idea what a CTF was. Capture the flag. I knew what that was, but I needed to do a lot of research, look at YouTube, like ask questions to people that participated before. It was a lot of mistakes, a lot of trial and error. I stay up late during the CTF because it's just a few days that you're into the competition. But I put everything, I got it. And luckily, I advanced for the next part of the program, which was the 1 month of CyberStart. It was previous to Try Hack Me. The core is the same for both programs. So it's also a gamified stage that you learn through, hands-on labbing. And truly, this stage was where I learned all the main skills that I use as a SOC analyst today at my job, because I learned how to read, not like read, but read information, read logs, how to analyze, how to research, how to be comfortable not knowing something, but being excited that I have the possibility of looking for the answer. And sometimes I was like confused and I didn't, understand a concept. Sometimes I understood a concept right away. Sometimes I need a few hours or look at someone else explaining the concept in a different way. And sometimes I needed days. I just, I will give up for a few days and come back with a fresh mind. And out of the sudden, the concepts were clicking to me. And I learned a lot of soft skills with that stage, and it was awesome. Um, After that was the Cyber Gen IQ. That was an interesting stage because I never participated of any IQ test, and it was kind of challenging but exciting at the same time. And I used the results as my advantage. I presented the results to my manager at the time, and we used that as a guide for our one-on-one meetings. So we could shape new tasks that I could introduce at my previous job, that it would focus my strengths that I got as a result of the cyber gen IQ. And that was interesting. Sometimes we know what we are good at, but that served as more a confirmation and new things that I could explore, and that was exciting. Um, the next stage was the sense training. I was over the moon when I figured out that I was accepted. I was very intimidated too, but it was a new moment for me because I was used to studying for certifications. I study more for CompTIA certs. So I already had some good routine for studies, like actually spending hours reading technical books. So I was good with that, but studying for SENS, I really need to level up. And I spent even days just researching how to study because I had no idea what an index is. How do I build one? How do I read all these books? So it was a new approach that I need to explore, and it was great. I had a lot of fun, and I learned so much with the SENS training. I was intimidated because I failed some of the practice exams, and I even questioned, can I even do that? But I just need to, reroute, rearrange, reread all the books, read, I redid the labs, and didn't give up. Just kept going, and eventually I passed all of them without failing. But that's good. um, Now, when I was studying for the second certification, is when I approached my manager. At the time, I was a client support at Blue Voyant, the current company that I work. And I approached my manager saying that I would like to transition to the SOC because it made sense with all the training to incident response. And he was very supportive, and my team was amazing, and they engaged with the SOC manager, and I made the transition. And now I see that I wouldn't be able to be where I am 1 year later as a SOC analyst without this program. I wouldn't. It enable me so much, not even with technical skills, but with the confidence that I have right now. Before I was a client support, I used to work in marketing for 10 years. I studied advertising back in Brazil, where I'm from, and I decided to transition to IT. And then I just got, start studying by myself. I got my A plus, and I got my first job at Squad. And I wouldn't be in security if it wasn't for the scholarship. And one thing that I want to mention, just to close the thoughts, is that people see this program with the technical advantage. For example, you're gonna add this to your resume. You're gonna learn skills, technical skills. You're gonna possibly earn certifications, and it's very fulfilling and attractive for your career. But I learned much more than that. Um, and now I realize that it built confidence in me because it built resilience, and being part of a cohort with amazing women, inspiring women, very talented, I felt that I belong in something because I'm a woman, I'm an immigrant. English is not my first language, and I always thought people would look down on me because of that. And it would be a vulnerable thing for me to show. And just being part of this organization, it showed me that I truly can do hard things. And that what motivates me to be a technical mentor and share my story, because other people might think the same way, like, can I even do that? Or I feel like I don't belong here. And I didn't give up, and I just want to share and motivate other people to do the same. And I'm honored to be here. Excited.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Kathleen, if you could introduce yourself and kind of talk about your experience and your background.
Thank you, MJ. Hi, everyone. I'm Kathleen, and I am also honored to be here and to have participated in the Security Training Scholarship program a few years ago. I'm thrilled to be a mentor as well and to help others navigate their cybersecurity journey. For me, the program was a transformative experience. I was a career changer working as a project manager in public health, and I was very interested in offensive security and pen testing. And I'd completed some self-learning activities and labs on my own, but nothing more than that as far as training or education. And the program's gamified learning truly accelerated my growth. It's hands-on keyboard and includes real-world attack scenarios. It covers web exploitation, cryptography, open source intelligence, reverse engineering, forensics, binary exploitation and scripting. It's fun, and it's a great way to learn cybersecurity concepts and tools, and also figure out what you enjoy doing. If you've never done a capture the flag CTF type challenge before, you'll learn as you go along, and there's a lot to explore. The Cybergen IQ assessment helped me to validate my career pathway as well as my strengths and areas for improvement. And these components, along with the incredible SANS Academy courses and certification achievements, help me develop my skills and boost my confidence as well. So working on such a program, it builds your resilience and demonstrates your aptitude and tenacity. And with that said, I quickly moved into cybersecurity consulting with organizations like Apple. And today I serve as a senior cybersecurity advisor at the Federal Reserve System. I work on the adversary emulation team within the National Incident Response Team, and my focus areas include Purple Team, Red Team, Insider Threat, and AI security and safety. And I love what I do. And this program was a launching pad for me. It's an absolute game changer, and I strongly encourage everyone to apply. It offers a toolkit, a community, and ongoing support to help you grow and open new doors every step of the way. And I'm really excited to be a mentor. The mentorship aspect of the program was invaluable. Our mentor provided resources and shared strategies for staying organized and preparing for the exams and certifications. And she kept our cohort engaged and motivated. And that can be challenging when you're working full time or attending school full time and working on the program as well. But that's why they look at grit here, because that's what you have to have to succeed. And with what Stephanie said, you're working together as a team, as a community, and supporting each other. And it's very empowering. And I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Stephanie. I can't say enough about the technical mentors and how they really kind of walk alongside you as you start to get into the more difficult material. They have opportunities for having one-on-one sessions. Plus, they just give you overall guidance on how you should be approaching materials. And then in addition to our technical mentors, SANS also provides career coaches that will have the opportunity to meet with you once you reach Tier 4 and kind of walk you through those skills that you should be developing as you begin to, look for career opportunities. And then also at Tier 4, we provide a scholarship to the WiCyS conference, which is going to be occurring in DC, March 11th through 13th this next year. You'll have the opportunity to get together with other folks that are in the cohort, meet employers, be a part of an Ask Me Anything session, and then attend the conference where there's opportunities to get your headshots done and practice your reviewing your resume, and also attend the in-person career fair, where we typically have anywhere between 120 to 150 employers that are looking to recruit, retain, and advance women in cyber. And so it ends up being a really, really good opportunity for our advanced scholars to attend that conference and really put their learning into work by actually looking for the employers that are offering opportunities and engaging with them. So that's really the capstone. I feel like the cherry on top of the cake is getting to attend the conference and getting to meet one another in person, build that in-person community, and then look for opportunities together. I have been going through the chat to make sure that everything has been answered, and it has, but there's been a few questions in here that have popped up a couple of times, so I want to kind of run through them in case it's something that you might be asking yourself right now. Some folks are asking, if you've been through the program before but you didn't get to the 4th level, are you eligible? Unfortunately, we are holding the program this year only for new participants. So if you've been involved in the program before, you wouldn't be able to apply for the new cohort. We found that there's a lot of difficulty utilizing the software in various formats if you've been through the system before. And also it ends up not being as enriching an experience for you because, again, you've already been through the material. And so the opportunities and places and spaces where you would reach out to your community as you try to work through the program problems together, you might not take advantage of that. And so we're thinking that it would be better for us to really focus on new folks that haven't been a part of the program before. As you will move through each tier, and your moving to the next tier is going to be based upon 2 things: how you did in the previous tier, and then also your application essay. I would definitely tell you, be very mindful of how you fill out that application essay. Make sure that it's true for you and your heart and your spirit, that you're relaying who you are and why you want to be in the program and why you want to move forward. We really do lean on that essay, all things being equal. That's the thing that we will look at and say, oh, okay, you know what? Stephanie is really shown here, here, and here that she knows how to overcome. Her and Mary Jane have similar stories or similar scores. However, Stephanie really is showing us here in her essay that she's got the grit and determination it's going to take to get through this program in the 12 months and then gain employment. And so, all of that's considered. The only time that there's an exception to that is tier 3, which is CyberGen IQ, and that is really a benefit for you having gotten through this first 2 tiers. It is not used to determine whether or not you'll get into tier 4. And I think those are predominantly the questions. Kiana, if there's any other questions, if you want to highlight them or throw them in the chat, I'm not seeing anything in here that hasn't been answered.
I'll just add a couple things if people give me people a minute, sorry, to post more questions they'd like. I think just to underscore what MJ said, the people will always ask, well, why an essay? This is a technical training program. You're going to be doing gamified learning than technical training. I think it's the way for the program committee and the admissions team to get to know you and understand your goals, right? And you can put it in your own words. They're not looking for perfect grammar. They're looking for, passion, goals, dedication, why you want this program, what the opportunity entails, so they can weigh that as they then begin to see your performance in the CTF and other tiers. To put it more candidly, simply saying, oh, I want to work in cybersecurity because I read in the news that the jobs pay really well, is not a good essay. So they want to see that you put time and thought into it. This program is very unique in terms of the different tiers and the approach we took that way. And I'm really excited for Stephanie and Kathleen to join this year, because the reason for structuring the mentoring that way, when there's already various levels of support from the SAM staff, the WiCyS staff, is to have 2 people who've walked the walk and actually gone through this program themselves in different cohorts. They can provide personalized guidance, positive reinforcement, and also challenge members of the cohort at times as you're going throughout the experiences here. They've done this, they've achieved through it. And so having 2 people like that involved is very unique and can really be a great resource if you choose to participate.
Not seeing any additional questions, but I also wanted to kind of throw in here. I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation that our tier 1 partners are helping us to fund this program. But in addition to those tier 1 partners, we also have premier supporters: Bloomberg, Craig Newmark, and Truist Foundation, and they helped provide additional funding to help pay for the services and the programming and the coursework and the certifications and the conference travel in order to make this just an amazing experience for those that are selected for the program. And I can't thank them enough. Without them, we would not be able to provide this opportunity. And so we're really grateful for that partnership and the support that they've given us over the years. Guys, I am not seeing any additional questions being thrown out. So I will give it just another second or 2 to see if anything is loaded, and then I will go ahead and end the session. If you do have any questions, always feel free to reach out to us at info@wicys.org. My name is Mary Jane again. You can find me on the website. There's very few Mary Jane, so it's actually pretty easy to find me. And my email is just maryjane@wicys.org. I'm happy to answer any question that you might have. We are super excited to get this cohort going. We're excited to see how many applications. We're wanting to beat what we had last year, which was somewhere in the neighborhood of about 1,600 folks that applied to be a part of this program. So we're very excited to read your essays and to grow and learn with you. So thank you so much. Thank you, Max. And thank you, Kathleen and Stephanie, for joining us today. And to Kiana and Rosalie and all the folks behind the scenes that really helped us get this webinar to the folks that needed to hear it. And again, if you have any questions, we're happy to help. And thank you for taking the time and spending this afternoon with us. You guys have a great, great day.
Thank you.